guys, it's Alison here. How are we all doing this morning? Is it still morning? Yes, it is. So I've had a bit of an eventful morning, and I'm just getting ready for a private card reading. So I thought I would just drop on and give you a quick little chat about the aspects of life and how we grow up to be who we are, and how we grow up to turn it, morning Sarah, to turn into little mini mum and dads, mini brothers and sisters, mini society people, mini from work. How people shape their lives around other people. And I'm just jumping on to say, why do we do this? Why does this actually happen? It's a bit of a blasé, like when you're older and you find yourself saying things and doing things, and you think, oh my god, that just reminds me of my mum or my dad. Oh my god, that's just what I used to see my mum and dad doing. Or yeah, I remember them saying that to me at school, or things like that, guys. Yeah, because the things that go on in our everyday occurrence life is a blueprint that's been imprinted in our subconscious mind for neons and neons and neons ago. Yeah, all the way up to we are 7, from this person with no belief pattern or whatever we see growing up, whether it be your parents arguing, school teachers calling you names. I can go on forever, guys, but the thing is, the self-confliction that we bring upon ourselves is because we've been subconsciously diagrammed to believe everything to be true, or it's our fault, or we're not good enough. This must happen to me for a reason. What am I doing wrong to deserve this? Why am I reserved? You know, and the more we try to figure it out, the more it confuses us, the more it drains us, and the more it hurts us, guys. Yeah. Now, I've been reading a book, and obviously I read the Courage to Change as well, and I brought this to life, that I've been reading this. It started me on my journey, along with Louise Hay's book, and it's, as I've gone through my journey, it has opened up so many avenues for me that I just want to reiterate it to you guys. When we're a child, well, I'm going to read from this book, and it says in this book here, if a child has been exposed to criminal behaviour throughout his entire life, is it realistic to accept that as an adult, this child will not end up in a legal system? What does this child's mind need to understand? If a brighter future is ever to be had. Obstacles in motion tend to stay in motion until arched upon to be a force. If a force greater than what that child has experienced does not intercept the train of thought, this child will continue gathering momentum of a criminal path. The force strong enough to derail a negative path is self-love. But when a mind has been turned against itself, sometimes the trains in your mind can feel impossible to stop. When we step into understanding why we think the thoughts we think, shame lifts and momentary slows down. Yeah? So this is where I say about your blueprint. Yeah? The conditions and things that we believe is what we should be doing in life has been brought to us from the conditioning of what's happened to us in them childhood days. Yeah, what we've seen, what we've heard, you must do this, you must do that. Yeah, and we bring it through, right or wrong, into our reality. Yeah, and then we believe that that's how we should be treated, that's how we should be. We don't believe it, we believe that it's all our fault. It makes us confused, it makes us feel unworthy, and unneedy and all that goes along with it, guys, yeah? So then we start to accept what your partner, say your partner is giving you GBH of the year, and then you're like, I'm not having this anymore. And you stand up and speak your true words, and they're like, well, it's all I ever know. I didn't know nothing else. That's the way I brought up. Yes, it was. Yeah? So to put the blame on your partner for acting that way, actually it was the way he was conditioned as a child. Whether it's right or wrong, yeah? It's wrong to be treated like that, but he was conditioned as that child. So it's up to that person to rewrite their blueprint. So what we have to do is then rewrite our blueprint to realise that no, it's not acceptable, and yes, it does hurt, and yes, we are worthy of more than that. So this is when we have to go deep into our subconscious mind and find the core of that being that started that little niggly aspect of us believing that we're not worthy enough, we're not liked enough, we don't deserve any better. Yeah, and when we do that, that's when we hit that brick wall and we're like, enough's enough, and we deal with it. Whether it'll be leaving the situation, whether it'll be working on yourself so you put your boundaries in place so you're all right within that position. Obviously, if it's life-threatening or things like that, then you trust your intuition and you seek help. But like, the conditioning of a mindset is so powerful, it can break you. It can destroy you. Yeah, it certainly can. But it can be changed, and that's how we can change it. We can, you know, even if you break away from that relationship, there'll still be the trigger point and the train track where they can pull you back, where anything can pull you back. If you feel like you've got a bit of light and you're all good to go, but then all of a sudden you get that dip and it's starting to pull you back into that self-doubt and unworthiness, and your ego's kicking in, then telling you all this, and then you start to believe it again, and you think, oh God, and then something just triggers that little thing, and you allow it all back into your life again. And sometimes it's rosy, but not for long. Sometimes it's rosier for longer. But in the end, it all boils down to the same thing. Yeah? It's not good. It doesn't serve you any good. So there comes a timeline where you have to say, enough's enough, crack on, and just deal with yourself. Take over with the care of yourself. Love yourself, yeah? And to do that, once you've been on this path of unevenness, you need to clear the core of that root of that being, yeah? The root of why you feel this way, yeah? It could be because you see a lot of arguments in your life growing up. So to grow up and allow the arguments to be in your life is just the norm. Of course it is. It's what you always see. It may be that you don't wear a certain thing, because if you wore a short skirt and nice tights and looked nice, you was doing something you shouldn't have done. Yeah? So then you're damned if you do, if you're damned if you don't. So you don't wear that, but in your heart you really want to wear it. It can be such a little thing, but then it can be a massive thing too, guys, yeah? And to match that with the courage to change, it doesn't happen overnight. No, it doesn't. So, you know, when you get your friends saying you should not be there, you should need to sort it out, speak up, walk away, do whatever, get over it, sort yourself out. It's not as easy as that. It's not as easy as that. And that is why people shut themselves down. And that is why people don't speak and reach their hand out for guidance and support. For fear, that's another fear, because they've been told so many times it's your fault, you want to sort it out, what the hell are you doing there? Get over it. Yeah, that puts another fear in you. All these little fears all build up like a stack of blocks and weigh you down, guys, yeah? Now, in this other Courage to Change, on today, Friday the 23rd, it says, even as a child, I had grown up responsibilities. So it is no wonder that I grew to be a caretaker. It seemed so uncomfortable, so automatic to think of others first and give myself completely to whatever circumstance was at hand without even a thought for myself. Yeah? So as a child, this book really relates to me because my mum and dad parted, so I stepped up into the mother role, the people pleaser role, making sure tea was on the table at the right time, making sure the washing was done, the ironing was done. Mum always had nothing to do at the weekends because she worked hard at the week, so I sort of like stepped up into that role, yeah. And then I carried that on through my childhood and into my adult life. I didn't know when to sit and stop or anything like that. But we all have to sit and stop and check in with reality. And the reason I didn't do that is because I was scared. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know if I even liked what I would be if I stopped. Yeah? So that is where that comes in. When I became aware that this was not one of my most admirable traits, but this was instead a form of self-destructiveness, I was horrified. I set out to wipe out all such behaviour and attitudes. I was determined to become as self-involved and uncaring as possible. Unfortunately, I failed. I failed to make such a radical change. Today, years later, I am still that caretaker, and I probably always will be. But now I consider it a valued characteristic, a gift of my upbringing that can greatly enhance my life if I don't carry it into the extreme. Yeah? So, again, with me, that people pleaser, I can still take that and help people and care for people because it isn't wrong to do that, but I do it after I've done what I want for myself first. I put myself first instead of running myself to the ground and being there for everybody else and pleasing everybody else and leaving what I actually want to do behind. Yeah? So that was where that resonated with me. Although I no longer do things for others that they could do themselves, you see. So many a times I'd be asked, well, what do you think? And I'd be like, or I'd sort it, I'll sort that out for you, don't worry, I'll sort that. Well, with me doing that, that wasn't making them people realise what arguments they were causing, what situations they were putting themselves in. It was me glossing it over so they could just carry on and do it. So that isn't them seeing the reality that what pain and hurt they were actually causing within doing what they were doing. Yeah? I still try to be nurturing to them as well as myself. Alon helps me to find some balance. And this is where I'm at right now. I have found my balance. And I'm so much more calmer and creative and there for myself. It doesn't mean I'm not there for others, but what I do know now is I cannot right everybody else's wrongs. I cannot steer them in the right direction. I can give them advice if they want it, but at the end of the day, it's up to them. Yeah, it's up to them what they do, but if they're going to ask my advice, what I've always said to everybody, don't ask my advice if you want me to lie to you. Yeah? I can't do that. Because I'm not one of them people that feed what they believe to be true. If it's not true and they're just feeding it because it's the way they get along, then that's fine if that's what they want to do. But I cannot condone that. Yeah? So today's reminder, guys, is today I will try not to condemn parts of myself while accepting others' parts. I am a composture and I love myself best when I embrace all that I am. Yeah? And for years, you know, even when I started my journey on this, and when I left my full-time job and concentrated on being an intuitive healer full-time and took my business, you know, to higher levels, it was a long time before I would say to people who I actually am and what I actually do. And for a long time, I just used to say, oh, I'm just at home. I'm just a home person. My husband supports me. I'm just at home, sort of thing. But now, and for, you know, people who say to me, well, ain't you got your little bits what you do? I'm like, yeah. But it's only recently that I've actually said, I'm an intuitive healer and a life purpose activator. I help people guide, support and heal them from their past traumas that have been daunting their life today. Amazing feeling when I said that. I was like, oh my God, yes I am. Yes, that is actually what I do. Because do you know what? I've been there and got the t-shirt and worked all the way through it, and I know the tools and techniques. And that is amazing feeling when you decide that that is you guys. Yeah? So the little affirmation, or the little text that the man's put here, is, my imperfections and failures are as much a blessing from God as my successes and my talents, and I lay them both at my feet first. Amazing. I love this book. I don't know why I didn't share it with you guys before. Maybe because it's quite deep. But the reality is, the stuff that we carry along with us in life is deep. It is deep. Yeah? And to dig deep to the core of that that core of that being that's been put into our subconscious mind through no fault of our own, or no fault of the people around us that we've heard it from either, because the people around us have still heard it from other people around them. It's like a family trait. It just keeps going and going and going. It is just literally like a train, and with every year that goes by, you just add yourself a little carriage onto it of hardship, confusion, hurt, pain and all that, and it just keeps going. And it's not until you decide to unlock one carriage a piece at a time, yeah, until you get to the core of that being, and then you can start repacking and aligning your new carriages without the darkness, with a little bit of light, and then a bit more, and then a bit more, and then a bit more. Yeah? So that was my little insight for you to all today. I hope this made you a bit more aware of when things happen in your life, where they've probably come from, and why you feel this way. Because the best thing and the most important thing about healing is to find what's behind your why. Find what's behind your why. So easy to say that, but so complicated to get to the why if you're not aware that that is happening. So this is why I've jumped on to re-litigate this as well, guys, and it's in my posts. Very true. Yeah, it is, Sarah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, so this is why I post, and I've started to open up a bit more about the things that I've been through, the things that I've cleared, and where I am today, and what I use as tools and techniques as well. So if anybody wants to know what the book is, please let me know. Well, I have said it's The Courage to Change. It's a brilliant book. Because for years I have been in that situation where there's been a lot of alcohol, narcissistic relationship, and me being the people pleaser. I feel that they're quite the three hardest things to probably unravel. So if this resonates with any of you, please go and share. There is a link in my bio if you want me to guide you and support you. Yeah, I mean, I'm so glad I've just said all that. It makes me feel so much relaxed. Because just to talk is amazing. Take care of you and have a good afternoon. Bye bye.